When it actually shot live, the systems failed a little bit.
Last time I slept was Wednesday, today is Friday.
We've literally gone up like 60, 70 users in like a couple of minutes, dude.
It might have been one of the most stressful times of my life. Okay, so we've spent a couple of weeks raising this capital, and now we've got an agreement. Now we have to build the real company, and we need to prove that the metrics that we've set, the hiring plan that we've built, the go-to-market that we've surmised, all of that needs to actually be implemented now. So now we go on to that next stage.
Cool. Yeah, title card.
So Adam and myself were running a dev agency called Nadler-Nir. We had a team of devs that we were ready to just stop doing projects for anyone else. We started a YouTube series for Nadler-Nir, and Nathan was helping us once a week edit some of our videos. But to be honest, we were completely underutilizing this guy. He's such a talented, multidisciplinary creative. Ruzaigh actually approached us and he said, guys, I just want to learn. You don't need to pay me anything. I want to do an internship. Now he's just a front-end god, and he's learned so quickly and he brings so much passion to the workplace every day. And we found Ruzaigh on OfferZen, which is a really great place to find developers. And on this one, we just got super lucky. Like Ruzaigh always brings in like so much work ethic and just an all-round great dev. I think we've gotten extremely lucky in finding everyone that we've got in our team so far.
So yeah, everyone kind of just shifted over from the dev agency immediately over to Momint.
I think the biggest need that we really had was somebody who could manage our marketing function, who had a little bit more experience just spearheading that. I started interviewing senior heads of marketing. Some of them, the cost was just absolutely insane. You know, we're not a corporate level company, and you know, we're not going to be hiring people on, you know, $200,000-$300,000 salaries so early on in our days. And there was a difficult way up for us of like, you know, can we bring in somebody who's intermediate to senior, who's looking to really take that jump and take ownership of something?
We need a little bit more dev capacity because now we were trying to scale up a business drastically. There's tons of companies that need developers, and developers kind of have a choice. So the companies that attract the best talent are the companies that are the coolest. And devs typically love to be challenged, especially good devs. Of course, we have ping pong tables and we have Xbox, but we work on really hard problems, and we have an expectation for like great output. You know, it's a high performance environment. I think where some companies go wrong is they just give all those benefits and they don't provide a challenge.
Their whole approach is like they want to create an environment where you are wanting to work and not necessarily have to work. So when you wake up in the morning, what's your first impression you have? Oh, I gotta go to work. Mine is like, damn, I can go to work. You know what I mean?
I would say it's relaxed, but with a high amount of accountability.
Oh man, if you talk about a relaxed environment, this is the environment that I like working on. You just need to know what you need to do and then get that done.
It took a while, but now I can say I can play table tennis with everyone on the team. I was thinking about it now when we were playing earlier. Everyone was lined up on the side and everyone was watching the guys play, and it gets intense. That's almost like a little team building exercise every day where everyone plays each other, we're a bit competitive, we're cheering for each other. So that opened a lot of new relationships, and then they grow naturally, obviously, really quick.
What I think of my bosses. You mean all three as a collective?
Yeah.
It was more confusing before, doing a project and then getting sort of 5 different takes and opinions. But I think I've gotten to the point where I'm good at like handling them and being like, okay, let's have a brief from the beginning, let's stick to that brief, let's get V1 out, and then we can talk about it.
From having more than one boss, I wouldn't say it's a struggle, it's just, it opens you up to more ideas of your approach of doing something. And for me, working on them, it doesn't even feel like I have bosses, to be honest with you. It honestly feels like I have people I can look up to, as I can call role models.
I feel like the new age of business is more lateral. You know, everybody has their role, and it's less like a pyramid, how it used to be in the old days. Obviously, you have to have leaders in any organization, but I think, especially I think their leadership style is that we are all on a fairly equal playing field and just trying to work together as a unit.
Like, it's very rare finding a boss that's going to be like working with you, coding with you. Normally, a boss would be like, oh, I used to do this thing back in the days when we were using C++. I'm like, fuck, you know. So yeah, in this environment, it's like very chilled. I'm working with the guys. Sometimes you forget that, oh, this is my boss. It's like we're actually a team. And that's how a work environment should actually feel like.
I think they're pretty cool guys. Very young bosses, but I'm also very young, so they're all older than me anyway.
Just they grind really hard, and I respect it so much. And it seems like they've got every aspect of their life together. Obviously, no one does, but like if it comes off that way, they probably deeply internally have their shit together.
After interviewing loads and loads of candidates, I went away with some friends, and one of those friends was Julia. And we ultimately decided to get her in for an interview, and she was keen to do that. She was already interviewing at other places. If I remember correctly, she had some pretty compelling offers from other places as well.
From that conversation with Julia, it was just very clear, like compared to everyone else, she was way better fit. To actually find that, we clicked. You know, all the other people were just like, oh, should we, shouldn't we, you know.
Adam, Erin and I deliberated it, and we decided that we needed to get her on. We made her an offer. She got back to us, wanted to go ahead, and she's just, you know, straight away, a huge amount of our growth in Momint can be attributed to Julia.
Quite an exciting space to be. Also a lot to do, but yeah, I felt like if there was a time in my life where I could take a risk in terms of a job, it should be now, and it, you know, yeah, it should be worth it. So
it must be like, I want you to basically allow the user to input something. It must then order, sort a list, do this, this, and this, and then return data back.
Adam and Erin were largely responsible for hiring Nigel, and they'd been looking around on you know, all of the local platforms that you use to find developers. We'd looked at finding somebody international. You know, we were getting so desperate we wanted to hire somebody out of the US, which is like unheard of for a South African business.
And then we asked Charles, who was working for us at Ebony, and said, do you have any developer friends? And then we found Nigel just by Charles saying, hey, I got a mate, he works in software development and he would love a new opportunity. And then I just phoned him right then and then. I was like, hey, we're this company, this is what we do. Can I send you a test to, you know, see if you're good enough? He did the test, he did the best out of everyone, and then we just hired him straight out.
Everybody in? Cool. And ow!
What do I think about Momint and where it's going?
If I'm being 100% honest and realistic, I think it has a very small chance of success, but any sort of unicorn has a tiny chance of success. So I think if we are to make a unicorn, this is a great idea to get behind, and this is the team that's going to make it happen.
I can see that it's going to be a really huge success. The reason I'm saying that is because I see how passionate the guys are about it and how hard they're working on it to make this a huge success.
I don't think we're going to be the next Instagram. I don't think we're going to be competing with Instagram, but I don't think that's the direction we should go in anyway. I think we're going to fill a niche that hasn't been filled yet.
If I were to say where Momint's going right now, I think it's going to be an incredible place for creators to share their work. Where the NFTs dissolve or disappear or get cancelled or whatever. Like, blockchain as a system is a really sick way for this to work. And so if we present ourselves as a place for creators to share their work and for collectors to curate their collection, and it's powered by NFTs, I think it has potential to be fucking massive. Loudest way.
I think we're still a small team and we're growing every day. And I think when we start getting up there in our numbers, I think we're really going to pull away.